How's it going, everyone? It's Natural here and welcome back to another video on the channel. MotoGP can be seen as an individual sport, but there's more to just seeing them do amazing things on a motorbike. The team plays a very important part for a rider, and in this video I will be diving into what makes a MotoGP team and why a MotoGP team is extremely important for a rider. Beginning with what makes a MotoGP team. Well, obviously you've got the riders, engineers, technicians, crew chiefs, management, the staff, plus many other people behind the scenes and in the paddock. So I'm going to use two teams as an example, who are both with the same manufacturer but are completely two different entities, and they are the factory Ducati Lenovo team and the satellite independent team from Ducati, that is Gresini. So we're going to begin with the factory Ducati Lenovo team. They have 3 riders, 2 full-time riders and 1 test rider. Obviously, the 2 full-time riders are Marc Marquez, a 9-time Grand Prix World Champion, 7 in MotoGP, and Pecco Bagnaia, a 3-time Grand Prix World Champion, 2 in MotoGP, and they have a test rider in Michele Pirro, who will do all the testing and development work for Ducati. But will also come in as replacement rides if one of the Ducati riders in the factory team or in the satellite teams with Gresini and VR46 if one of them is out with injury or illness. But also the factory Lenovo Ducati team will have lots of technicians, lots of engineers and mechanics, not only on track at a Grand Prix but also back in the factory, helping, supporting obviously the factory riders in Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia in development work during each Grand Prix weekend. Also, the 2 factory Ducati riders will also have their own rider, crew chiefs and crew. So take Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia, they'll have their own each individual crew chief and their own each individual crew. Also, in a factory Ducati team, they will have team management, rider coaches, staff and other behind the scenes people like in social media, fitness department, hospitality with chefs to make the meals for the riders, and obviously for guests that come to each Grand Prix round, plus many other people as well. So that is what makes a factory Ducati team in MotoGP. In a satellite independent team in Gresini, they are a lot complete different to a factory Ducati team, for example. So they might not, for example, have the same spec of bikes as the factory riders. So they will have Euro bikes, like take this season they have Alex Marquez and Fermin Aldeguer. They're not on the same bikes as the factory riders, they're on Euro bikes. They're on bikes that Bagnaia and Martin, who won the championship last year, on. But obviously that would change for 2026, as Alex Marquez will be on a factory spec bike, but Fermin Aldeguer will be riding the bike that Marc Marquez won the championship on this year. Like I said with Gresini, they may not have the same, factory support in terms of personnel, but they still have a very solid team sort of thing. So they still have crew and crew chiefs, they still have mechanics, they still have technicians, they still have some, support from Ducati from the factory in Ducati to help them a bit, but obviously it's not going to be nowhere near as massive as the factory team. But just like the factory Ducati team, they have their own management, their own social media presence as well, and I would say this, they have the best social media on the whole entire MotoGP grid. If you haven't checked Gresini's social media, you should, because it is absolute fire. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes an independent satellite team in Gresini. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes a MotoGP team from a factory perspective and a satellite independent team perspective. If you like this video, then hit the like button and subscribe as well. I hope you all have an amazing day out there, and then I will see you in another video.